rolling out the facts when it comes to the world's illegal tobacco trade. Panorama begins tonight's Science Zone in just a few moments. That's right after the skiing Weatherview now on BBC One with John Hammond.
Hello there. Well, it's getting late in the season now, but still plenty of time to jet off and enjoy some good skiing. It's time for our weekly skiing weather update. And the headline news is that in terms of fresh snowfall, Scandinavia has been the place to be. Voss picking 20 centimetres just in the last couple of days. Stateside, Big Sky has had a quarter of a metre of snow just in the last day or so. But generally across the Alps, we've had a bit of a respite. High pressure has provided a lot of dry, settled weather. So we could do with a top-up. And the good news is I think we're going to get a top-up as we go through this weekend. Further north, as I mentioned, we've had some snow during the last couple of days. And here temperatures are a good deal lower. So what snow has fallen is going to be well preserved, plenty of powder to be enjoyed. And for Scotland, as you can see, an area of white there means we're going to get a fresh dump across many of our Cairngorm resorts as well. Starting off in Scandinavia then, Åre and Lillehammer seeing some flurries, low temperatures. For Scotland, quite a lot of snow, we think, through Saturday and Sunday. That could close the lifts at times, but the bigger picture is it's good news. It extends the ski season well on into the spring, we think. Some flurries to high levels across the Pyrenees. Lower levels might be a little bit sleety. After a dry start across the Alps, that weather system will push in from the southwest and bring some fresh snowfall to many of the resorts. Over in Bulgaria, though, I think it will be predominantly dry through this weekend. Featured resorts, Tignes in France. Now that's a high-level resort, of course. Good news at this time of year. It means temperatures are lower and the piste remain in good condition, particularly the north-facing piste. Most of the lifts are open. Great skiing to be had. Sounds you do in Italy. I've been there myself. Great skiing again. Hasn't snowed recently. The last snowfall was on the 4th. So again, we could do with some more, and we are going to get some, I think, through this weekend. Now, in terms of fresh snowfall, there hasn't been much, as I say, through some of our alpine resorts. Obergurgl, for example, just 5 centimetres in the last few days. And that's had a knock-on effect on the state of the piste, particularly the lower levels getting a little bit slushy, and especially the south-facing slopes, of course, as the March sun is getting pretty strong now. The outlook, though, through this weekend shows this area of blue, low pressure, bringing rain through the western Mediterranean. As that hits the high ground of the Alps, it will turn to snow. So fresh snowfall for the alpine resorts, perhaps the Pyrenees as well. World Cup further north at Kvitfjell in Norway. I'm hopeful that low temperatures here will preserve the piste quite well, and that does mean that will be great fast skiing, I think, for the men's downhill and the Super G. Over in North America then, the map is dominated by this spiral weather system. Has brought a real dump of snow to the eastern resorts over the last day or so. That's clearing out of the way, and the attention is now drawn further west to the northern Rockies, with weather systems coming in off the Pacific, and that is where the main focus of fresh snowfall will be, I think, through this weekend. Further south, somewhat drier prospect. Now, Whistler, of course, is in the firing line for those weather systems coming in off the Pacific. We've already got loads and loads of snow here, and plenty more to come through this weekend. Similar story for Sun Peaks and Banff. Further southwards, though, somewhat higher pressure for some of our resorts down in southern Colorado, California. So largely dry. That's good news. Plenty of snow on the ground, of course, and with sunshine, great skiing to be enjoyed. I mentioned Whistler. You can see how much snow they've got. Well over 3 metres of the stuff, with more to come, as I say, through this weekend. Excellent conditions at all levels. Big Sky in Montana, a more laid-back resort. Again, plenty of snow. There should be some good sunshine as well through this weekend, and the powder is still excellent. In terms of fresh snowfall, we've seen quite a bit of it over on our eastern resorts as well. As I mentioned, the attention will turn to the west. Beaver Creek, 13 centimetres, that's a good 5 inches there. Generally, piste conditions remain excellent at most of the resorts, but again, it's the high levels where you'll see the best of the skiing. So all in all, pretty good news if you are off skiing. Much more detail, of course, as ever, can be found online, bbc.co.uk/weather. The data, as always, provided by the Ski Club of Great Britain.
The safe distance between you and the car in front is 2 seconds. But how can you judge it? One way is to choose a fixed point ahead, like a tree or a bridge. As the car in front reaches it, just start counting.
Now. 1 elephant, 2 elephant.
Of course, it doesn't have to be elephants.
The number you are calling knows you are waiting.
But whether you use a song or a phrase or a ditty...
Last night I dreamt again of Mandalay, but the road was barred to me.
Make sure you extend it in wet or icy conditions. Think Always leave a 2-second gap, at least.
With England leading the pack, will anyone catch them in the Six Nations? Italy v France, Wales v Ireland, and England v Scotland. For the love of rugby. The Six Nations, Saturday on BBC One, BBC One HD, and Radio 5 Live Sports Extra.
It's Matt versus Julia racing a traditional sailing barge. Countryfile explores the Thames estuary in half an hour. First though, here on BBC One in the Sign Zone, the toxic facts when it comes to tobacco as Panorama investigates.